And good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Bullet Grill House High School Sports pregame show. Craig Irwin with 590 Sports, sitting in here at Bullet Grill House. We shoot this little deal every Wednesday night here at Bullet Grill House in Point Blank, Texas, 401 Highway 156 West. Come by, come see us, come talk high school football. To my left is the legend, Brian Besh from Polk County Enterprise.
That's a lot to live up to.
I mean, we've talked about it for many years about how ESPN's been blowing our doors up.
Yeah. It's hard to fight them off. They keep coming with bigger and bigger contracts, and I tell them I want to stay local, but it's a draw. I got to say it is a draw. But no, Trinity County, Polk County, Houston County, Tyler County, and San Jac County is where we're at with the 5 newspapers. We have a magazine that comes out quarterly called the East Texan, and you can find us online at easttexasnews.com. Please do so.
Got a great app out there, too.
We do. And it will give you notifications if you want it. If you don't want it, that's fine, too. But it will direct you straight to the website and get you in on things that are late-breaking news.
I use the app pretty regular. And throughout the week, trying to stay up on all my local high school sports, and they do a great job over there. And then one guy that we cannot forget about, sitting on the far end of the table here at Bullet Grill House, owner, operator, entrepreneur, the man with the plan, Chris Moran.
Yeah, how's everybody? Great day, great Friday night. It is Wednesday we're recording this, but it is Friday night we're going to listen to. It's National
the magic
Guacamole
of radio.
Day.
Guacamole Day.
Guacamole Day is today.
I got to say something about Bullet Grill House. Now, the biggest kept secret that y'all have here, the wife and I and some friends met up here Saturday for lunch this last Saturday, watched a little UT football. We're going to talk about that in the college game day show. But come up here, and we got the chips, queso, and salsa. Brian, Chris has never mentioned to you and I ever about the salsa, has he?
No.
Dude, they ought to be canning it and selling it. I'm telling you.
Really?
It is that good. We're going to have some here in a little bit. Matter of fact, whenever she comes back, I'm ordering chips, queso, and salsa because Brian needs to try the salsa.
Yeah, and we're just going to crunch right here on radio. Let's do it.
Dang right we are.
Yeah, we started making our own salsa. I think it's been about 3 months now.
Dude, I'm telling you, it's the best I've ever had.
Yeah, we once people tried it, now there's no going back.
There's no. It's kind of like the salami sandwich.
Yeah.
That's on the menu. You can't go back.
Yeah.
Ryan had that the other day, and then so he ate it in 2 halves, right? Come cut, and he got the Cajun coleslaw. He threw the Cajun coleslaw on the salami sandwich, and he said it was dynamite.
Baloney.
No, he had the pastrami sandwich.
Pastrami.
The
pastrami. Yeah.
He had the burger though.
Yeah, the burger.
The pastrami burger. So it's a hamburger patty.
See, I haven't had that one.
With a portion of our homemade in-house brine and smoked pastrami, and then he threw Cajun coleslaw on top of that. I mean, that burger was 6 inches tall.
Now, see, I've had the pastrami thing, and that's fantastic.
Dude,
so
he threw the Cajun coleslaw on it, and it just elevated the game. And I'm surprised Chris didn't say, yeah, I had to try it. But he will now. Watch what I tell you. But
it's like somebody's trying to get a sandwich named after him.
Yeah, I mean, really and truly. So, but let's crunch away with the Week 3 pick'ems. The games we had was Kirbyville, Corrigan, Huntington, Tarkington, Woodville, Liberty, Crockett, Buna, Cold Spring, and Hampshire, Fannett. Now, not to toot my own horn.
It's too late.
But I batted 1,000 last week in the pick'ems on 590 Sports. Corrigan, Tarkington, Woodville, Buna, and Hampshire Fannett won. Yes, I said it. I do play-by-play for the Cold Spring Trojans, but I just felt like Hampshire Fannett was going to be a little much, and it was a good football game if you were a Hampshire Fannett fan. That game, I'll just be real brief. Cold Spring didn't show up to play football. They just were not They were not focused.
We were scoreboard watching while we were up in Palestine, and we just saw that thing getting further and further, and I knew something had to be up.
I mean, it was a lack of defense. Hampshire Fannett was really physical in the trenches. They won the battle there. On both sides of the ball, obviously, whenever you look at the score. The three-man front for Cold Spring, they did everything they could, but it just wasn't enough. And, Ty Bryson, I believe is his name, was one of the quarterbacks for Hampshire Fannett. Killer arm, really mobile in the backfield, looked really good. He went out midway through the second quarter, got hurt. Zeno was the other quarterback for Hampshire Fannett. Very, very athletic, dangerous with his legs. And, I mean, that O-line was getting a huge push, opening up holes you could drive an 18-wheeler through, and that's what was going down. I mean, Cold Spring never defensively didn't make any adjustments. It was really rough. So, Cold Spring, I picked Cold Spring to win. I thought the game was going to be closer than what it was. I picked Cold Spring to lose, excuse me. I thought the game was going to be closer than what it was, and unfortunately it wasn't. And for the Cold Spring Trojan faithful, but I don't get paid the big bucks to pick Cold Spring to win every week.
I whiffed on that one. I picked Cold Spring.
You did.
Yeah.
And Chris over there on the far end, he did as well. So
trying to support the hometown boys.
I picked against them the last week.
Yeah, against
I missed them both ways.
Splendora. Yeah. So Woodville defeated Liberty and Tarkington. Let's talk about that game. This kid, trying to remember his name off the top of my head, I can't. Set a school record in the first half, 21 solo tackles.
Oh wow.
It'll come to me here in a little bit. Set a school record, 21 solo tackles. Ended up with 46 tackles throughout the game.
You're kidding.
And just had a breakout game. Old buddy of mine calls me, and he says, dude, let me tell you about Tarkington, this and that. We're 3-0, yada, yada, yada. We're 2-0, 2-1, so on and so forth. So-and-so kid had X amount of tackles, and I said, Elmo, I'm going to break it down to you real easy. I said, before you get too excited about everything, you were playing Huntington. I said, y'all's 2 wins. One was against Evadale, one was against Huntington. If you don't mark those games down on your schedule as games that you should win, then you don't need to be talking high school football, in my opinion. I said, if Tarkington finishes 500 football on the season, they're going to be lucky. And I still hold true to that because whenever they get into district with East Chambers, Buna, all of those.
46 tackles in one game.
Yes. Kid was all over the field, and he's a small guy.
That had to be half their plays.
Yeah, easily.
Yeah.
So it's just stupid.
More than. That's crazy.
Yeah. So Tarkington gets a big win against Huntington, and I thought the game was going to be a little bit more even than what it was, and Tarkington was able to just really execute. Home game, their first one of the season. They lost to Shepherd the week before. And, of course, he had his lobby against that. Now, he was like, in the first half, and I said, well, you played 4 quarters, 2 halves for a reason. And I said, and obviously, Tarkington wasn't good enough to finish the game.
Yeah.
They are young, a lot of sophomores and juniors, but in next year, I look for them to be a little bit better.
Well, the fact that they've turned it around this quick says a lot about the program and whatever the coach is doing over there because it was kind of left for dead the past couple of years.
It really was. It really was. Corton Camden Bulldogs had a very good game over there against Kirbyville.
They did. Just in talking real brief, from what I hear that went on in the game, Kirbyville played a very good game. Scored late to make the score a bit closer than what it would have been, but Corrigan jumped out to an early lead, kind of coasted for a while, and kind of had to hang on at the end. Corrigan has, as you know, a pretty big matchup this week. A couple of local schools getting together,
yes.
And I always love it when that happens because, A, you get the big crowd out, but B, a lot of these kids, they know each other. And the game actually means something to them, whether it's district or playoff or whatever. It could be something as simple as a scrimmage. But whenever you get, 2 fan bases that know each other, a couple of teams where there's kids, where they play youth ball together, or maybe they go to church together or do something like that. You know, the game means something to them, and it's bragging rights, and it's fun for them.
Yes.
And I love that, but Corrigan and Cold Spring going to get together this week, and they're going to put an undefeated record on the line. Corrigan is 3-0 now. They haven't been winning by blowouts or anything like that.
No, it was a 35-30 game last week.
Yeah, they've been playing up in competition. They're a 2A school now, and you wouldn't know it by their schedule because I believe they've scheduled all 3As throughout non-district, and they're preparing for what's going to be a tough 2A district with Groveton and Centerville in there. So they will most certainly be ready whenever that district time comes around. There's some players that are known names on that Corrigan team. There's some players that are back. Most notably, the quarterback is back this year, Christian Guzman. But you also have some kids that are making a name for themselves this year and making plays, and I see them show up every week in the paper now because they're scoring touchdowns or they're making tackles or getting turnovers, things like that. But their name's becoming regular, and so you've got a group that's got 21 seniors over there, and for the most part, Corrigan's gonna throw a team out there of 11 at any point in time, where probably 9 or 10 of them are going to all be seniors.
No, you are correct, and it's going to be this week's going to be a fun game, and we're going to talk a little bit more in depth on that when we get over to the third segment of this broadcast here at Bullet Grill House. But a couple other scores that I wanted to touch on today was Diboll falls to Franklin 35-23. That was a final there. Going to be, I mean.
There's no embarrassment in losing to Franklin.
No, there's not. Woodville defeats Liberty 34-27. And why I speak those games of relevance is because both of those teams are in the same district as the Cold Spring Trojans. And next week, at the end of next week, whenever we start talking about districts, or the following week when we go into district play, we're really going to break that stuff down and really be able to talk about it. So those two games are going to be of relevance for the Cold Spring Trojans. Game that you was at, not in the Pick'ems, was your Livingston Lions.
Yeah.
Their first road trip of the season, went up to Palestine, 24-18 final over there. I didn't get to follow a whole bunch. I read a part of the article today as it popped up on one of my news feeds there on social media. Talk about that game a little bit.
Thought it was going to be a big step up in competition. A couple of years ago, Livingston went over there and had a rough go of it. Next game, they come out and they play Orangefield, and they roll off about 8 straight to win district that year. And kind of expecting that level of competition. Probably not as much competition as it was 2 years ago, but Livingston played well enough to win this football game. It was a 24-18 final, and I know whenever we come back from break, I can get into it a little bit more, but Livingston looked a lot different. They had a quarterback that played his first game of the season and is going to be back for the duration, and it completely changed the offense. He was their leading rusher. He scored 3 different touchdowns 3 different ways. Receiving, rushing, passing, and it really gave them a whole new look and just kind of almost a new lease on life over there. But we'll get to it whenever we come back.
Let's talk about what's not a new lease on life, and that's the Bullet Grill House. Unless you haven't heard about it, and Chris, we talk about y'all each and every week, and surely if you haven't made notice yet, we enjoy the food here at Bullet Grill House. And the entertainment is just as good. So y'all got a lot of stuff coming up here in the next coming weeks.
Yeah, we do. And, actually, and next Saturday, we got a benefit for one of the Point Blank Fire Department, volunteer fire department, Mitchell Matthews, fighting some cancer. Trying to get everybody together. It is Saturday, this September 24th. There's a ride in the morning, a poker run ride in the morning, ride or drive if you want to. And then we're going to do, after 2, we'll be back here at Bullet Grill House for a live auction, 50-50 raffle. We are still looking for donations. Anybody wants to donate a something from their business, we'd appreciate that. And last I do know, they were still looking for an auctioneer that may be available to kind of try to raise as much money as we can. So if anybody out there wants to donate some time, Saturday afternoon, that is the 24th, a week from this Saturday, week from tomorrow, and we'd love any support we can get to help him fight his medical bills and fight against cancer.
I got a lot of good things going on here at Bullet Grill House. You're listening to the High School Sports Pregame Show here on 102.3 The Eagle, AM 1440 The Score, and 105.5 KDOL. We'll be back right after this.